Food businesses carry the responsibility to produce safe products, which includes making sure they don't contain undeclared allergens. Your allergen management plan forms part of your prerequisite program, which forms the base for your HACCP system, and both are needed to comply with GFSI benchmark standards such as BRC, FSSC 22000, SQF, and IFS. What is an allergen management plan? An allergen management plan is an organization's formal documented plan describing all the controls and processes in place to manage allergens from start to finish. Typically, allergens need to be controlled at multiple stages of manufacturing, from ordering and receiving ingoing ingredients through to final product packing. The objective of an allergen control plan is to prevent and mitigate the risk of allergen cross-contact and the presence of undeclared allergens in the final product. What is an allergen risk review? To establish and implement effective allergen controls, we follow two key steps. The first step is risk review or assessment, during which all the allergen sources and potential cross-contact points in the manufacturing process must be identified. The next step is to evaluate whether existing controls that form part of your prerequisite program reduce the likelihood of allergen cross-contact to an acceptable level and whether you need to implement additional controls. Every step in the manufacturing process should be considered, and points where allergens are introduced must be identified. Contamination controls established, implemented, and monitored to ensure that cross-contact is avoided. Typically, an organization will have a combination of controls in place. These may include controls related to product development, formulation, and reformulation, to include ingredient risk review and label design. Allergen information generated at this stage must be communicated to the food safety teams and all other relevant parties. Supplier and material controls include the review of ingredients and supply chain risks. Allergen cross-contact can occur at any stage of the supply chain. Thus, ingredients and supply information should be thoroughly assessed, paying close attention to identifying ingredients derived from allergens and allergens present due to cross-contact. Material receiving and storage controls must describe how ingredients and printed packaging materials are received, checked, and stored. Effective allergen control is best achieved when allergen-containing materials are segregated from the time it is received. Equipment design and environmental management controls are needed to ensure that cross-contact via equipment and the environment is prevented or limited. Poor hygienic design can significantly impede on the cleanability of equipment and the facility itself. Cleaning and sanitation controls are important to ensure that allergen residues are removed from shared equipment and the manufacturing environment. When designing a cleaning regime, consider equipment dead spots and the property of the food soil that you're working with. Intelligent production scheduling, providing you have an effective allergen cleaning regime in place, can significantly reduce the risk of allergen cross-contact. The aim is to optimize production throughput by reducing the number of deep cleans needed while preventing allergen cross-contact. Allergen smart production schedules start with products that contain no or the least number of allergens, and new allergens are added as the schedule progresses. Subsequent products must always contain the same allergens as the previous product to prevent allergen carryover. Rework management controls, which may be overlooked, are needed to ensure that rework practices do not result in the presence of undeclared allergens. Like-into-like strategies are considered best practice in terms of allergen management. People management controls include, but are not limited to, training, mentoring, PPE controls, and personnel practices. Remember, the effectiveness of your allergen control ultimately relies on your employees. And employees who understand when, why, and how to control allergens can be your organization's greatest asset. In closing, remember that the risk of allergen cross-contact need to be reviewed regularly, and appropriate allergen controls need to be implemented as part of your allergen management plan. In the next episode, I will focus on allergen cleaning and what to consider when developing an allergen cleaning regime.